Module 4. Welcome to today's lecture on ERC20 tokens. So what are ERC20 tokens? Firstly, they are tokens designed and used solely on the Ethereum platform. They also follow a list of standards so that they can be shared, exchanged for other tokens, or transferred to a crypto wallet. The Ethereum community created these standards with 3 optional rules, and 6 mandatory ones. It is hard to put into words the sheer impact that ERC20 tokens have had on the crypto world. They are single-handedly responsible for the billion-dollar ICO industries, and they have played a big role in making cryptocurrencies more mainstream. Smart contracts opened a whole new world for developers to create and innovate. However, these developers needed a way to finance their projects. The solution? ICOs. ICOs, or initial coin offerings, are the cryptocurrency version of the initial public offerings, or IPOs. However, when compared to IPOs, ICOs are a lot more entrepreneur-friendly than IPOs for the following reasons. Firstly, it is far simpler to present your project in ICOs. All that you have to do is to present a white paper of your project. Anyone can become invested in a project they are interested in by purchasing the tokens of that particular DApp and become a part of the project themselves. There is one more thing that you need to know before we get into how an ICO works. The developers need to give something in return for the investments. This something is called tokens. To give you a very wide, non-generalized definition, a token is a representation of something in its particular ecosystem. It could be value, stake, voting right, or anything. A token is not limited to one particular role. It can fulfill a lot of roles in its native ecosystem. So, what are these roles that the tokens can take? They can act as a toll. A token can act as a gateway to the DApp. Basically, in order to access the DApp, you will need to hold the tokens. They can confer voting rights. The tokens may also qualify the holders to have certain voting rights. They can provide value exchange. This is one of the more common roles of tokens within the ecosystem. Tokens can help create an internal economic system within the application. They can also provide a user experience enhancement. The token can enable the holders to enrich the user experience inside the confines of the particular environment. ERC. In Brave, a web browser, holders of BAT tokens used in Brave will get the rights to enrich the customer experience by using their tokens to add advertisements or other attention-based services on the Brave platform. They can also act as a currency. The token can be used as a store of value which can be used to conduct transactions both inside and outside the given ecosystem. But there is a problem with different token designs. In the early days, it seemed that each and every ICO token was trying to reinvent the wheel as far as the execution was concerned. Each one of those tokens had their own list of functions. Now, this led to a whole host of new problems. To create a healthy ecosystem on top of Ethereum, it is absolutely essential that the dApps built on top of it can interact with one another seamlessly. However, what will happen if we have 2 tokens, say token alpha and token beta, and both of them have different smart contract structures? For that to happen, the developers will need to carefully study both of these contracts and map out exactly how these tokens are going to interact with each other. This doesn't really bode well for scalability, does it? If there are 100 different tokens with 100 different contracts, then to narrow down the qualifications and conditions required to make sure that transfers can go through between all these tokens, this will need a humongous amount of complex calculations. Which is not an ideal scenario at all. Something needed to be done, and on November 19, 2015, Fabian Vogelstiller came up with an ingenious solution. Enter ERC20 tokens. According to Wikipedia, ERC20 is a list of rules that an Ethereum token has to implement, giving developers the ability to program how new tokens will function within the Ethereum ecosystem. The ERC20 token standard became popular with crowdfunding companies working on initial coin offering, ICO, cases due to the simplicity of deployment, together with its potential for interoperability with other Ethereum token standards. To keep it simple, ERC20 is a guide of rules and regulations that will help create a blueprint for Ethereum-based smart contracts to create their tokens. The ERC stands for Ethereum Request for Comment, while the number 20 is the number assigned to this request. Now that we know what a ERC20 token is, what are the main benefits of using it? Firstly, the convenience. As we have already stated earlier, if everyone was creating their own tokens with its own functions, then it would have been an interoperability nightmare. Plus, saving those tokens in wallets and listing them on exchanges would have been a pain. Transfer of tokens could have broken contracts and made them vulnerable to hackers. Since the ERC20 regulations present a proper blueprint for developers to follow, it is easy for them to come up with tokens instead of working from scratch. An important factor that is critical for the overall valuation of the Ethereum network is the liquidity of these ERC20 tokens. If the projects on top of Ethereum are active and interacting with each other, then that is going to invariably bring more projects and more users to the Ethereum network. And what are the flaws of ERC20 token? A big criticism is that ERC20 has made it too easy for people to create their own tokens. As a result of this, the market is flooded with needless and, even worse, scammy ICOs and tokens. So what does the future hold for the ERC20 token? While it is true that ERC20 tokens have been important for the growth of the crypto ecosystem, the fact remains that they may have overstayed their welcome. People are already experimenting with newer standards like ERC223, ERC777 etc. But, as of right now, ERC20 isn't going anywhere. Your assignment today is to watch a video on ERC20 tokens which should further solidify your understanding on this subject before we move on to the exciting world of ICOs. Remember to bring yourself up to date with the notes before you move on to the ICO lecture.